Hello, I'm the normal playing guy, and yes, might have heard of it and you might have seen it. It is going to be the fantastic news that it is indeed a Super Saiyan 3 Goku and indeed a Fat Buu that is going to be dropping for us. We're going to have a quick review. Now, this came out, I believe, at my time of 2 a.m. And yeah, everyone out there can go ahead and do that, but I'm just not going to. Currently, it is now 22 hours past the day, so I'm a bit late. But hey, you can go for the whales, you can go for the famous people, but here we like to do really good, accurate critique views. So let's jump into it. We have, as by this animation, a Super Saiyan 3 Goku and a Fat Buu. Wow. That's going to be good. By the looks of things, this guy even has a like a negate kind of mechanic. That's pretty cool. And then he has his flashy active skill here. This would be good. Boo here, that's pretty good. This could be an entrance animation. So yeah, it's true that the leaks were indeed going to be a standalone Super Saiyan 3 and a standalone Fat Boo, and there's also some other fantastic hidden things in this. So it's not really hidden, but we'll probably just jump into what's probably arguably going to be the best thing on this, and that's legitimately this. It's the easy age of these two LRs from a few years ago. Now, you can straight up ignore the fact that we have two new units, right? Ignore what they can do. These two LRs are getting an easy A. Can you believe it? Now, I predicted this once again. You can just call me the god of this game. You can call me the all knowing messiah because I predicted this. They're a few years old. They want to make it very special for this joint celebration. There is always these days an LR Easy A, and if you're going to be sticking to the Majin Buu saga, I predicted it was either be this or it'd be the physical Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. Now, of course, this is absolutely hype, right? So we're going to jump straight into some of the things that we have got. So we know then that, as well, so there are a few things to go for note. So we know it's a joint celebration coming in very soon, probably be by the end of the week. So some of the things that we've noticed straight off the bat with this producer's letter, yes, there's two new units, and yes, there's two new hype Easy A's. So now we have Red Zone coming in for the Majin Buu saga. Now, this potentially could be a lot of fun, but also, given the meta, could be extremely difficult. But again, with the characters, yeah, but actually this could be extremely fun. So that's going to be good. Yes, the two new LR EZAs. Now, there's potential around them to be crazy. Like Vegeto's are known to be ridiculous. This guy's counters in particular, like the base form of this unit is very defensive, and I can see that. But like this guy, you give him his damage reduction, or you give him a heap loaded defense to counteract his less of damage reduction. Dude's counters are going to be singing. And this guy, Butenks, Buhon, whatever you call him, he is extraordinary. Like this unit still has the scouter, and this unit has the guaranteed seal where applicable, right? So this could be insane. Like the healing this guy does, he stacks defense on his 18 key and more so on his 12, and his attack on his 12. Like you could just do additionals, and he could be really, really useful. Who else do we have in this? Yeah, these are the two new units. No doubt that when we touch into them, it's going to be crazy. We have the this thing that's going on right now. When you log in and do various missions, you get these various tickets. Turns out these tickets are going to be for this particular banner, which we can go on it later on. Right, so here we go. We're going to jump straight into the new Super Saiyan 3 and Goku. So this is the first hand stats. Boy, this is a lot. So, Majin Buu Saga, Overworld Warriors, or Accelerated Battle, the full 170. You get the additional for 200% for Kamehameha or time limit. Now, I'm thinking Overworld Warriors, well, actually, basically all of this with Kamehameha is a really respectable 200%. You think, to be fair, yeah, like Vegito could get this, but like Gogeta as well, because Overworld Warriors and Accelerated Battle will kind of fall into Gogeta's limit. So there's a lot of top tier unit overlap on this. So that's really good. So we have an entrance animation, brilliant. Chance performing a crit plus 50% for 5 turns and reduces damage received by 90% upon your first entry turn, and with each turn passed, minus 15%, no more than 90% has passed when there is another Majin Buu Saga ally on the team. So that's like Golden Frieza. Golden Frieza has 90%, LR Golden Frieza has 90% damage reduction and loses 10% for every rotation, no more than 60%, right? So he still ends up having a good chunk still. This guy, same sort of deal, 90% damage reduction. Every rotation that the character has, you get 15% less. So you'll end up with only 10% damage reduction by the end of like 8 turns, which is still pretty good because after like 3 or 4 turns, you're still rocking like 60 to 70 something percent. So it's not actually that bad. I mean, you go down to 75%, then you go down to 60%, then you go down to like 45%. So again, it's not actually that bad. So, I mean, it's still pretty decent. What do you get anyway? So you get, by the looks of things, 2 key 150% flat out at the start of turn. You get 150% when performing a super attack. By the looks of things, greatly raises attack and defense of the turn, so that's a 50% raise, which is really good. You reduce damage by 5% with each super attack performed up to 30. So you actually build that defensive up. So imagine it's kind of broken in a way, and it's not really going to be realized, but the 90% is the cap that anything can give you. You pop some items and you pop a variety of things that give you more than 100% damage reduction. You're capped at 90. So it's kind of stupid having this at 90%. You greatly raise defense and have another 5% damage reduction. That's not actually a thing. But as you lose the turns and turns and turns, you claw that a bit back. Like you lose 15%, you do a super attack, and it's every super attack, and you claim that back. So that's something. So we have a 30% chance to crit. Okay, that's fine. Launches an additional attack. That has a 70% chance to become a super. That's just flat out. If there's another Majin Buu ally in the same turn, super or extreme, we get another 100% to defend and guards all attack as the first attacker in the turn. You get a bonus 100% attack and a guaranteed super attack as the second or third attacker in a turn. Wow. And a higher chance of nullifying Ki Blast supers, so that's a 50%, and countering. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. The entrance animation is nice, so you get 50% to crit, which is nice. When that fails after 5 turns, you get 30%, which is fine. You have 90% damage reduction, but it fails by 15% every turn, but you claim 5% back with every super attack up to 30. So you'll end up with 10% damage reduction, but then probably you won't, because you'll hit a point where as you fall to 10%, you're going to build your way back up to 40% because plus 30 with every super attack performed. Now it is 6 super attacks, but we have some additionals built in. So you get an additional just flat out anyway. So it's an additional attack that has a 70% chance. So there's 1. If there's a Majin, so we have in slot 2 or 3 with a Majin Buu Saga ally in the turn, and you will have that. You'll get another one, and that's guaranteed with hidden potential system coming in as 4. Potentially, you could have 4 super attacks, which means that you'll build up to 20% damage reduction when you fail a little bit, which is not so bad. So you can still maintain a balance, right? So that's pretty good. Now, the only thing about having Guaranteed Guard is you get Guaranteed Guard with the defense as the first attacker, which means that anyone prior to you attacking first, you're not going to have it, which is a bit of a shame. So it's only on attack will you get it. So that would mean then that you'd have to go in the second or third attack, which makes sense because it looks like you greatly raise defense. That's a 50% buff on top of what is already considered to be a pretty gnarly unit because you're building up damage reduction or you have damage reduction, right? And you have what, 150% plus 150% on super. That bit's only once. So, I mean, with that in mind, that's not so bad. So slot 2 or 3 could be good because then you're stacking him up. And it seems like you would want to keep him on rotation. So probably having that second one is going to be, like slot 2 is going to be great. That way he can just maximize the amount of damage reduction he has. Because, I mean, hell, his damage reduction that passes by, you could stick him on any one of these teams that he's going to be on, and he's going to be good because of his damage reduction, which is going to be great. By the looks of things, we have Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Saiyan Lineage, Over in the Flash, Limit Breaking Form, Kamehameha, and Fierce Battle. Okay, so 3 key here and 3 key here. If you trigger Super Saiyan 3 or anyone with like Accelerated Battle, or Super Saiyan 3 Accelerated Battle, maybe Time Limit, you're going to get Over in the Flash kind of often. And Limit Breaking Form is, of course, a Super Saiyan 3 perk where you won't really struggle for super attack, because what you will have seen here is there is absolutely 0 key in this passive, except for 2 key that you get flat out. 2, that's it. You don't build up, you don't get additional from being anywhere else. That's it. Now, of course, you can get, I think, key 1 from Super Saiyan, which is somewhat of a fine link, but you're not always guaranteed to get this or this, because you have to build the team around them. So you think you're going to have 3 key? Well, okay, in that case, factoring that you start with 6, it's not so bad, because then you only need to get a handful of key. You could use him to not get the key and just rely on his damage reduction just to clear the field. Yeah, that's a thing. So what do we have for an active skill? Looks like it's the full power Kamehameha. Can be activated when there is a Majin Buu ally in the same turn from the 4th turn, flat out no matter what. So, hit the Majin Buu ally in the same turn, 4th turn, boom. 100% raise to the attack, ultimate damage, and all attacks become crit. So this is where it heavily focuses on slot 2 and 3, because you get the additional super attack. So you enter turn 4, you pop the active skill, massive boost to attack, and it's a crit. You're then guaranteed an additional super attack for being in slot 2 or 3, with the 100% attack for being in slot 2 or 3, with the offensive and defensive buffs you get for super attack. And the dude is good. I mean, even at 55%, the guy's going to be hitting 15 million. 100% to your attack for the 2 with guaranteed crits, and then an extra 100% attack for being in the relevant slot. Honestly, 55% is going to be busted. It's like LR Super Saiyan 3, the tech who had his Easy A. He's putting out like 10 to 15 million, even at like 55%. So it's utter mental. So Rainbow can only be just a hilarious fun. So it's a pretty easy one. So turn 4 and away you go no matter what. So that's pretty good. Right, okay, so his super attack effect, here we go. 50% to stats and a 50% chance to stun. That throws a spanner in the works in terms of how you build him. Wow, that's actually pretty gnarly. There he is. Pretty damn cool. All right, so how would you build this guy first off, right? So we have additionals built in, so I wouldn't go for it. And we have 30% chance to crit and health 50% for the first few turns, so you wouldn't go for crit. He does have a 50% chance to stun and does greatly raise, so you could actually argue that. But since he has additionals, since he's designed to be quite powerful, honestly, I think dodge, I'm not saying full dodge, but dodge is it. Honestly, yeah, because like he has his additionals, 70% at the very least for the additional, and you're building up. He's got that defensive viability. So you don't strictly need to actually. He's got 90% damage reduction. You don't need any more stats, period. So honestly, full dodge is the way to go. Because imagine, wow, yeah, that'd be pretty good. Because it's not as if he gets any additional buff from actually taking hits. So it's not as if you need to get hit. So honestly, full dodge is the way to go. And I made a video not too long ago about how dodge is the win. And honestly, it's almost as if the game and the creators are saying, hey, You know that dodge thing that we put in? Yeah, you know the difficult content we got? Yeah, you know that dodge is looking pretty tasty right about now. No, honestly, full dodge. So that's pretty good. Without wasting too much time, let's jump straight into Fat Boo. So here we go. Fat Boo twisting him up in his weird goo, blasting him. Brilliant. It looks like he's going to be storied figures and sworn enemies, which is rather interesting. Oh, and he stacks defense. Interesting. So he's in. By the way, what is Goku? Do we actually know what Goku is? He is AGL, Super AGL. God, like they need it. All right, so Boo, Fat Boo in particular, Boo Saga, storied figures and sworn enemies, and then the additional for Worldwide Chaos and Resurrected. So Worldwide Chaos, it belongs to the Black Saga or the Future Android Saga. So having Boo in this is kind of, well, it's kind of crap, really, isn't it? Because, in other words, if you're going to have worldwide chaos around Boos, you might as well just run margin power, right? Or power absorbed. So it's nice they got another margin Boo saga. Potentially a storied figures. Sworn enemies, no, but it's just nice for a margin Boo saga. Fine. So what do we do? Entrance animation looks like the one when he bursts from the pod. So we recover 10% HP at the start of the turn for the rest of the battle forever, which is really nice. You get an additional 10% for the first 5 turns, however, only if there's another Margin Boo ally on the team. Right, and that's upon the character's entry. Right, so you get 10% no matter what, but it buffs a little bit for the first 5 is really nice. 20% is absolutely no joke, considering we have infinite regeneration and all the boos have that, plus nearly every single boo heals, whether in super attack effect or whether by passive. So really, this is going to fit in quite nice. So let's have a look. 2 key, 150%. Okay. Margin, by the way, does actually give you 2 key, but only at level 10. So that would give you 4, but you'd have to go to the lengths of getting that to max level 10. Otherwise, you just got 3 key in sense. So, okay. So 2 key, 150%. 150% starts on super attack. So that's the same. Super attack effect, let's have a quick nosy at what we do. Stacks defense, so that's a 20% buff time on time, and greatly raises attack for the turn. So that's nice. A powerful attack, 20% increment as we go across. All right. We get an additional attack, 70% chance to super. So far, it's exactly the same. Instead of crit, we get heal. Guards all attacks when 50% HP or more at the start of your turn. So full health, turn 1, you'll heal and have guaranteed unconditional guard. You just gotta be above half health. You recover 10% at the end of the turn, and if HP is 30% or less by the end, you get an additional 10. So potentially you can get 20% here, potentially get 20% here, or even anything 10. So you get 30 to 40% depending on how many turns has passed. But even still, 10% HP plus this, you're still getting 20% HP every single turn, start and end split. So that's really nice. So you're going to claw back a bit of health. Let's have a look. Revives with full health when the character is KO'd, when that unit is KO'd. You survive all KO attacks up to once within a turn. Wow. Per turn, you come back. You get with additional 100% and guards all attacks and launches an additional super attack from which the turn or an ally's revival skill is activated and you recover with sweet treats. Interesting. Let me read that again because I kind of feel like I just read something mental. So you have it. So this revive with you fully revive when the character is KO'd once only, but you survive KO attacks once within a turn. So that means you can do it once a turn. you get an additional 100% to stats, guards, and additional super, from which the character or an ally's revival skill is activated. So every turn, wait. So that does. So surviving a KO attack, ultimately, it doesn't give you the heal. You'd have to be the last. So if you get knocked out, you come back once, full health. You get knocked out again on the next turn, you will survive, but it's got to be the last attack. Interesting. So you could theoretically see if you get hit. So if you are in slot 3 and you get hit, then with that, so you could be facing 2 attacks. If you're in slot 3, the first one takes you down to very low health, and then all of a sudden he super attacks you. Well, you'd survive it with 1 HP. You'd heal about 30% at the very minimum, and then you can just keep going. That would be absolutely insane. An active skill, Candy Beam. After your revival is activated, or from the 7th turn, so you massively raise attack, 100% raise. We delay the enemy's attack for 1, and all key spheres go to cookies, and you get 12 key. What do the cookies do? Because it's not saying that you get cookies. What do cookies give you? Heals? What? Massively. So you get 100% raise to attack, and delay the target enemy's attack. All key spheres to cookies, and you get 12 key. What do the cookies do? Am I missing something? Because it says you recover HP. Ah, right, okay. You recover HP retreats. I get you. So this is kind of clever. I wonder, is this unconditional? As long as it's once a turn? So theoretically, so every time you get knocked out, once a turn, you'll survive, but you'll turn everything to candies, and then you just full heal. Is that how I'm reading it? Are you immortal? Did they make an immortal unit? What the hell? Okay, well that's something, isn't it? So it stacks defense and you get a little bit of attack. Seriously, I want to know if you actually are immortal. That's very situational, but it could be a thing. It looks like we have a couple of banner units, but I'll probably do that on another video because it's running by just a wee bit. So that's something. Anyway, yeah, these are the 2 new units. This is what's going to happen. Tons of, you got Red Zone, Margin Boo Saga, some LREZAs, the most hype. A powerful, offensively powerful Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and a very interestingly immortal Fat Boo, who again, honestly, I'm looking at the build, and you could say additional and dodge, because he still has that crit chance. So it's additional and dodge for this guy. Dodge to help with your survival, but additional because he stacks. So yeah, we have full dodge. No, seriously, full dodge. We have dodge and additional. And then we'll touch into the other units. So thank you very much. Yeah, okay, I'm not the earliest to this, but that's an honest review. Seriously, we have 2 good units, and I'm very curious to know about how things will go. Especially with this Fat Boo, he is the most interesting one on here. But yes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll do another video straight away off the banner units because I bet they're going to be good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time, and bye-bye.